Hey guys, we talked about ISIS and crowd work clips in the same realm, and also a lot of identity today.
Welcome to MangoBae.
Welcome to MangoBae.
MangoBae,
MangoBae.
For the exclusive content, don't forget to join our Patreon at patreon.com/MangoBae.
Mango.
Bang.
Welcome to MangoBae. One-stop shop for South Asian recklessness. We are two best boys, Usama Siddiquee and Pranav Behari, who are comedians in New York. We bring the wild South Asian tamasha, the jungly, the weird shit, and it is here. It is now. We have Patreon locked and loaded. We got Discord. We got early access. We got... What else we got?
We're getting we got early access, archived episodes, Discord, bonus content. That's it. And look, I appreciate we've been getting, since we revamped the Patreon, we had it started with a little flood. Yeah. And now it's like 2 new Patreons a week. Listen, guys.
Get in it.
All right. Because really the archived episodes is the gold mine
of
stuff.
100%.
You know what I mean?
It's before we had a career or anything.
It's true.
Any stakes whatsoever?
Oh, speaking of, check me out. This week I'll be on The Other Two on HBO.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
Oh, shit.
It's coming out Thursday.
What's your character?
The Other Two. I'm a celebrity journalist.
Hell yeah, dude.
Yeah.
What's the line?
I don't even remember.
He's here.
There was two. There was two lines, and it was great. I got to hang out with some real comedy legends. All my other TV stuff that I've done has been like, oh, okay, I'll wave to Ice-T on Law and Order, and and Maisel. No, I hung out with the co-star Maisel pretty extensively in the green room.
Yeah, but you turn into a very like a different guy on these sets. I feel like.
How do you mean?
Not different, but like I see like a little joy. Like you're kind of like
you know what I've realized.
These guys in.
Listen, I kind of accidentally fallen into the actor's life a little bit, and I realized I love being on set. I was in like an indie film last week. There for like 9 hours, and
you shine in these things.
It brings out not even just as an actor or as a performer. It brings out the best in me as a person because I like being on set. I like the vibe.
Yes,
it's like frenetic. It's taxing a little bit, like physically.
Same here.
You know what I mean? You love it too. You get it.
I'm always hanging out with like the most disgusting crew guy.
Right.
Some guy hasn't showered, some holding a mic like this.
Yeah. You're a man of the people. I'm hanging out with Molly Shannon.
Yeah,
you know?
Hey, Pranav.
I was hanging out with Wanda Sykes. Yeah. You know what I mean?
I'm getting COVID again from the grip.
You're getting new variants of COVID with the types that you're hanging out with.
Earl, the grip guy.
I know.
Who becomes Earl, the grope guy pretty quick.
Very quickly. Once you start nudging up against union lunch breaks and all that.
Wrong union to chill with, by the way.
But I do like it. Check me out on The Other Two. It's coming up soon.
It's badass. Check it out. Today we have... I would actually say, with reckless abandon, that this is a genuine rising star.
I would say so too. I think Emil's one of the funniest comics out there.
I think he's...
And you know what, Emil?
What's his name?
I'm Emil Wakim.
What's up, guys? Thank you for saying that. That's so sweet, by the way.
Well, you know what? It's like I met you probably like 2 years ago or something. I think I was at an outdoor show doing something, and you were with maybe Bassam or something.
Oh yeah.
And I just met you very briefly, and you're like, "Hey, what's up?" And I didn't. And I would see you here and there, and
the rooftop show, probably.
Yeah, it was something like that, and but I'd never actually seen your comedy, right? And I remember just randomly, it was like some morning or something. I was like, oh, let me just check out. It's got a Comedy Central set. I saw a clip of it maybe on IG. I was like, let me go check it out because I rarely actually do that. I did, and I stayed glued to it the whole set. It was so goddamn funny. This guy's got great premises. This guy's really bringing it.
He's got man bangs.
I was like, I loved it. And very rarely is it where I'm so moved by stand-up where I'm like, I want to get this guy on immediately.
Yeah. Dang, I really appreciate that.
And I wanted it just so other people would be introduced to you, get into your stuff too, and help you continue to grow as you are.
Hell yeah.
Emil's
where I'm coming from.
Emil's the man. Emil's been funny since he was fucking 5, dude. I met Emil in Minnesota.
This is so much sincerity from you, but
I usually give it 1 second.
Yeah, I'm really sorry. I shouldn't
give it 1
that.
second. Okay.
I usually get a lot of ball busting from Usama, but out of love. It definitely is out of love. But this is very sweet.
Yeah, it's a bit unsettling actually.
It is. I'm a little uncomfortable.
You know what? I meant
he
to say,
shaved his
Emil's
head.
a gay bitch.
He's fucking found God now. All of a sudden,
I know.
He's gonna be all sweet.
That's what it is.
He's egoless. He's got a second hoop on his ear.
Oh yeah.
I'm fucked.
I met Emil when he was in ultrasound, I think.
Yeah.
Back then, when you were literally like 5.
Yeah.
And you were like doing these premises that were just like so advanced. I was like, Jesus fucking Christ. Like, I assumed it was because you were from Indiana, or like you were in college in Indiana, and Bloomington
Yeah.
had like the Comedy Attic, and you were just like absorbing all this amazing shit. I met you in Minnesota. You were already like a fully fledged comedian. I was
Thanks,
like, this guy's
buddy.
like
That's so
15,
sweet.
he's already good.
It was probably somewhat ignorance too that I was like, I should write a joke about that.
Yes.
That's
fucking
the best
2
thing,
years
though,
into
right?
Yeah, I guess looking back now, thank God I didn't know that it was like just fucking chill out, like punch at your weight class.
You always got to punch up.
You don't want
I
to be
should've
cringe. I
above
think that's
your
the thing.
weight.
Looking back, you don't want to be the guy that was like not self-aware.
100%.
You know?
I mean, I guess ideally back then,
Yeah.
we should have hated each other, you know? 'Cause
Yeah,
I was like, you know? I was Donnie from Wild Thornberries, right?
Oh, I thought you were saying because two like ethnically comedians.
You thought the was my ISIS
I
impression?
thought you were saying.
He thought you were speaking Bengali, actually. He was like, he must be just talking in his native tongue.
ISIS Anise.
It was a self-deprecating joke. Okay.
And I feel like we were so different, but I think we was immediately good vibes at that.
It was great vibes.
that
I
was-
remember
How old
I-
were you when you started?
19.
Oh, yeah.
So I met
Yeah.
you. That was the year before COVID. That was right before COVID.
Right
That was at
before
10,000
COVID, dude.
laughs.
Oh my
I remember
God.
I had a fake nose ring at the
You
time.
did. And
That's
we
And then we
hilarious.
all tried it
Dude.
on in the lobby of Acme.
We started COVID there.
We
That's
did.
where COVID
when
started.
we shared
It
nose
was
juice.
repulsive that we
It
were all
was
just
so-
like, sure, fuck it.
Here's the thing, bro.
That's
We
how
were-
cool it
We
looked.
were all in this car. We were all in this car. And I remember us saying to Emil, like, Emil, you're so hot. You're so funny. Can I try your nose ring? And everyone was like, ew, what? But I was so confident about it that everyone kind of like came around.
They're like, yeah, I want to try
Totally.
it too.
I started doing it. They're like,
You know, that's like intravenous drug use, basically.
Yeah,
That's
that's
like what
sharing,
that
that's
is.
sharing
needles.
Yeah.
I'll take his AIDS any day. Huh? And then I didn't see you for a couple of years. And you were just in Indiana
Yeah.
doing college, like literally just finishing college.
Yeah.
While you were doing college, you were opening for every hotshot in the block, right? Like you were.
Yeah, I got to get on some good weekends. It was nice. It was super
nice.
because I did all the marketing for the club, so I kind of had first dibs. I would always know who was coming before everyone else. So I would get to text the guy and be like, "Hey, can I fucking?"
You ever been to Comedy Attic?
I have not,
It
actually.
is
I want to.
one of the best clubs in the world.
I've heard that.
It's
so
sick.
amazing.
I've heard that.
It's pretty dope.
I got to get out there.
Yeah.
Got to get out to the mid.
The word
Midwest.
attic, you know, so many different meanings for so many different people. dude.
I know. Well, Emil is on the podcast. Emil, where are you from, though? In
Chicago suburbs.
Okay, you're from
Yeah.
Chicago. So
I
you're
I thought you were
from
gonna be
the
like
Midwest.
from Beirut.
Yeah.
I originate from.
Well, you're half Arab, right?
Half Arab, half Lebanese. Yeah.
And what's the other half?
Just vaguely white. We think. I mean, we thought it was. I guess Serbian. That's like what my mom's side
Yeah.
is. But then we did a DNA test, and it was like barely Serbian. It was a lot of Ashkenazi, actually.
I was gonna say.
Yeah.
I was gonna say.
And my dad was like, "I knew it," and I was like, "I don't know if you should say that. I don't think that's the best."
Look,
response.
I can pick up the Ashkenazi because you got the Ashkenazi.
Yeah,
too,
that
you know?
Ashkenaz,
You're coming
baby.
double Levantine in here.
Absolutely.
Which is very attractive, by the way.
Thank
so
you,
I
I
mean that
appreciate
as,
it.
as a
Emil's hot as
compliment.
hell. I remember. Okay, I'll say one thing. Let me ask you about
We're
this.
sucking this guy's dick way too much.
Yeah,
So
when
now-
is it going to shift?
Let me throw back.
Because
let me
I
throw
would
back
say
one
I
thing.
was nervous to come on here because
Okay.
this is the Brown podcast, and I have a little Brown insecurity.
So
Yes.
I'll give
Because
you
the only
our
thing
favorite.
Usama hates more than a full Lebanese is a half Lebanese.
I will say one thing. Right? I'll say one thing. If we're gonna stop sucking.
Yeah, I already came. Now it hurts.
So you're a comic. You kind of when I first met you, you were always doing just social stuff, socially kind of relevant stuff. What's the deal with masks, whatever, right? And always hitting it, funny stuff.
Very
right?
prescient, though. That was
yeah,
pre-COVID.
that was good.
Pretty
That
fun
was
on
pretty
pre-COVID.
good. That was me
And then what
before, yeah.
happens is, I think that there's this moment where you kind of industry hits you, right? Industry comes in, and it's kind of like a meal time, right? The next clip I see is you like tearing up, and you're like saying the word hummus a lot. What is this? What is this joke? You were like, if my grandpa knew that I didn't have hummus, what?
There was not that at all.
It was like a hummus bit.
It was,
where
a,
you're
it was
crying.
a joke about pumpkin spice hummus. There was no crying. There was a build up to get some white guilt.
But see how he's attacking, how his voice is loud.
Well, I'll say I'm defensive. I
get-
got a little
yeah,
defensive.
let's get into
it. Yeah, I always talked about being Arab. I had a lot of material about that. But I think when I came to New York, it was COVID. So I just kind of I just was like, all right, that's not, I'll just talk about what's relevant. Because it's silly that people are in masks and I'm like whatever my old fucking jokes.
I just like the idea of like you were doing all this white stuff, and then you get to your first CBS meeting, and they're like, "What do you want to do in 5 years? Bomb Sabra?"
Buddy, if you don't think I was hitting the Arab card in Bloomington, Indiana,
yeah, you have to.
my God!
How
of
could you
course.
not, though?
How do you think I got stage time? They were like, this is our minority. I was black there. I got away with anything. It was unbelievable. I could talk about anything on stage because they were like, he's something. It was crazy.
He's something.
That's how white that town was. They were always just like, oh my God, for sure, go with it.
When they came in,
Yeah.
you didn't feel a need to change your bits a little
When
bit.
who came in?
Like when you started having JFL, you started having some.
No,
stuff,
for Fallon.
right?
Well, for Fallon, I did the set was kind of all about like ethnicity, I guess.
Right.
I think just because I was like, I felt in the middle of it a little bit because I felt like white passing a little bit.
Yeah.
But also, I'm not. No white people have ever treated me white.
Right. Of course.
I'm only white passing to like brown
You
people.
look fully Arab. Though.
Thank
like,
you.
You
I
look
appreciate
fully
it.
Lebanese.
Well, that's the thing. Every time I say to a white person, like, yeah, sometimes people like say I'm like, you should say you're white. It's weird, and they're like, wait, they're like, I don't fucking think you're white, and I'm like, oh, phew, okay, like, so
But
it
they
was
didn't
like,
say it that nice. They're like, you're not white.
yeah, they're like, don't even fucking try to sit with us.
But then you'll be like, like when people say like,
You will not replace us. Emil.
Yeah.
like, because Lebanese is still white in a way. It's like not person of color.
Lebanese, we get
You know?
shit. Yeah,
It's a weird thing because you don't get to have the POC brand.
I think we chose to. We sold out to the European side a little bit.
right.
It
We-
depends
we-
on what kind of Lebanese you are, though. I
Yeah.
spent a lot of time in Lebanon.
Well,
so I
I'm
know.
Catholic also, so there's
Yeah,
another little
that's the
imposter
thing.
syndrome there of
Right.
like
Yes.
Arab, brown.
Right.
Yeah. Everything I am is a little. It feels a little. I got a little easier of a out, I guess, sometimes.
Right.
Yeah.
But it never. That was only around other ethnic people.
Yeah.
I felt like a little imposter. But around white people, they were like, "You're both terrorists."
Yeah, exactly.
Like you're the pilot, but I have the box cutter. I'm the co-pilot. Like I'm there.
White people really do reduce it. You'll be like Bangladesh, and the guy's like Pakistan, and
Yeah.
white guys like, why are those two Indians fighting?
Exactly.
Totally.
That's how it is.
Well,
right?
yeah, it's kind of like that old, like the Kumail joke of like, there's no informed racists or whatever.
That's the thing.
I know.
Yeah, you know,
I know.
everyone's they're just kind of like, you're all not.
Get
I'm
out of
not-
here, you Maronite fuck.
Yeah.
Like, no.
yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Look at them goddamn Assyrians just hanging out.
Totally. Yeah.
And that's why it's so funny when now these people are kind of going too hard. Where like they're like, I'm Chaldean, and it's like nobody knows this. Not even nobody knows this.
Yeah, I googled a map of India before I came on this podcast. I was like, I gotta fucking study, bro.
So I did some gigs on the Palaputra the other day, and it was pretty great, actually.
I listened to a George Harrison song yesterday. Is that anything?
I love the idea of people doing lots of Indian research for us, even then we
I
start
know.
talking about dicks the entire
I
time.
know, exactly.
Yeah,
they
yeah,
come in
yeah.
real prepared, and they're not prepared at all. I mean, Joe arguably looks the most ethnic out of all of us in many ways.
What is
but
Joe?
Joe's just white.
Joe's
White.
Italian.
Italian.
something.
No
Deeply
way. You're Italian? Whoa.
Yeah.
You look Syrian or Lebanese. Like
Yeah.
you look like an Arab.
He does.
That's
You
how
look
Italian
dangerous.
he is.
Yeah.
He's so
Dude,
Italian he
Arabs,
went
yeah,
full
go
Arab.
Exactly.
Right back around.
Yeah,
to Arab.
yeah.
I mean, okay, so at this point in your life, are you searching? I know, like Dave Marhej is Lebanese.
Yeah.
And then you see one time he goes to Lebanon. He goes to his family's hovel.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? He drinks from the Flint style water.
Yeah,
You know, like I want to feel the tapeworm like my grandma.
Guy's never been to Lebanon.
Like
Yeah.
the Rami, like, episode kind of thing. Yeah, I mean, that's what I always try to check myself a little bit. Because I do that stuff, but then I do try to be like, okay, let's not. I don't think I claim to be anything that I'm
No,
not.
you're good. I'm just-
But I
it's
am
funny.
very aware that it's a slippery slope of being like wearing a fucking red fez and like, dude. I mean, when I first came back from Lebanon, this last time, I was like, I had like a little coffee. I was gonna do the Turkish coffee every morning, and I was like, let's fucking chill out with this a little bit. You know,
I need my French press.
Totally. I was like, finding your identity as like a first gen, I'm American. I acknowledge that, but I'm also like, I do love my culture.
Yeah.
But it's like, you got to kind of keep yourself a little humble of like,
I agree. And
Yeah.
to me, there's nothing I hate worse than the semi-ethnic comic, the kind of 23andMe enthusiasts who are like,
Totally.
they find the one thing and they're like, this is me now.
yeah. But then the
Somebody
opposite.
said chai tea.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm like, fucking kill yourself.
Don't do Hassan Minaj's act, bro.
Okay.
That's fucked up, dude.
Is that
That's a full joke in his act.
That's a
yeah.
full
No, it's
joke.
not.
That was the trailer. That was in the trailer.
That
Made
was
the
the trailer.
trailer.
Walk, yeah.
I thought his
Yeah.
was like non-bread or something.
No, he had that. That was
Okay,
the
shit.
that was the
My
next
bad.
joke after that.
Okay, so that was the bit.
He does all this
my
stuff,
bad,
yeah.
my bad. Because I've heard that
We-
with so many brown comics at this point. I just thought it was like a brown street joke. At this
It's like a
point.
brown meme almost.
Yeah,
Right.
exactly.
We do have a easy time of it too, though, because we present so brown.
We immediately
know?
look brown. For me, my impulse is like, I don't like, we talked about this on our last episode where we both were on a brown show.
Yeah.
And I started off killing because I did like my Indian material. And then I was like, I don't want to fucking do this anymore. And I don't like these people anyway because I was very rejected by my own brown community growing up.
Yeah.
I was like, fuck you guys. And then I started doing like really more depraved, goofy shit. And then I started to bomb.
And then they were like, they logged off.
They logged off.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hilarious.
Yeah. Well, it's kind of the flip side of what you were saying of like the 23andMe kind of like, now I'm this thing.
Right.
There's almost the opposite of like this like weird gatekeepy ethnicity crew
100%.
now.
Exactly.
Like
And-
brown, the ethnic side now has Karens that are like
100%.
annoying, weird. Like, what is your end goal here? Trying to like rank us in struggle.
We call them Karans, actually.
Really?
Get-ins. Yeah. Yeah. I 100% agree. And that's what it's becoming to. And it's all because everything now in this, I think in the culture now, everything is so idpol identity based.
Totally.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That
Yeah.
everybody's looking at it as a currency for clout, money, whatever. Your identity is now a cottage industry wherever you go.
For sure.
Right?
The's real money in it.
There's
There's
real
money in being a thing that isn't white now.
There is real money
Right.
in it.
And it's so low level, too. It's just
Yeah,
like...
it's very easy to redeem.
To redeem it.
Yeah.
So it's almost like two sides of comedy now, right? There's like
Yeah.
the super whitey, white, you know?
Yeah.
And there's like the other, it's like, and then there's like the I'm 90,000% black, brown, whatever.
Yeah.
And those two, it's just all trying to harvest as much money and followers as humanly possible.
For sure. But that well is getting shallower. Like you can
Yes.
see people get like, because it came as like a scolding. It was like, it was rarely done as just like, here's an intro about me. It
Right.
did seem like,
I'm getting so freaked out. I'm just starting to like just Google Kevin James now. I'm like, just talk about a bank or something.
Right.
Yeah.
How is the bank like? I forgot about that.
I know.
yeah. Where's Jeff Dunham when
Where's
we need
Jeff?
him?
Where's
Exactly.
Jeff?
I'm getting real
Can
nostalgic
someone
for
smash a goddamn
fucking Larry the
watermelon?
Cable Guy.
Yeah.
We need a good poop lasagna.
Can I
bit.
be the puppet? I'll be the terrorist puppet.
Exactly.
Put your hand up my ass.
Exactly, dude.
I'll get on the You Smash Me. You
Like,
be my
do
Gallagher.
you know, Usama, do you know this guy, this chick, Saira Rao? Have you ever heard of her? She's not a comic, a comic, but this is a great example. Somebody sent me a tweet. She's an Indian American woman, and I think she like tried to run for Congress or some shit. Failed, thank God. And the tweet was like, white people, when you see black and brown people in a grocery store, don't ask us questions. Don't even gauge us. It's pathetic that all you can see us as is service people. And I looked into this bitch. She's married to a hedge fund guy.
course.
Yeah, totally.
She lives in Richmond, Virginia. She's as rich as fucking God.
on a plantation.
Basically, yeah. She probably lives on an old plantation. But this woman has made a career out of being like, we hate you white people when you're like the biggest Karen of them all.
Totally.
You know what I mean?
Brown people almost trying to grasp onto the black struggle.
It-
And you
that's-
go, let's
oh my God.
relax.
I was like, let's calm down, guys.
Yeah.
And
Okay.
then they called me Gandhi.
Yeah.
Because let's be
Crying
real,
on
nobody
the mountain.
oppresses brown people like brown people.
Yeah,
okay?
totally.
Like white people have not been our primary oppressors. You know, we had the British
Yes.
thing. Yes, I'm not denying it at all, but let's be real.
Here's the thing. It's like, so that set where P just, does Indian shit. They're like, oh, good guy, good boy.
Yeah.
The moment he does something that's outside of their purview,
Like
it's
sexual?
like, get out.
Dirty?
Sexual stuff.
Dirty.
Yeah.
The bird diarrhea joke,
Yeah.
he's getting in there.
Yeah.
And it's like, how quickly your own people be like, well, this is
Totally.
bad.
Yeah.
This is not good. And I think
Yeah.
every race has their...
People are just lame with like their rules, their own like weird, like we don't, that's where we draw the line. I think
know.
anyone that's just too in there, like this
Yeah.
is who I am, we're like, just fuck off.
I
You're
know.
The last
boring. and
cool
you
You're
suck.
so boring.
You
right?
suck.
You're
Yeah, you're
totally
such
boring.
a bummer.
You're totally boring. You've not pierced even a little bit anything else beyond that.
We're the
inside of
perfect
you.
amount of reasonableness.
I
and
know.
It's
100%.
awesome that we are right in the middle. It's
I know.
great.
I agree. I agree. It's a tough place
But
to
it
be,
is
though.
but it is funny that to us we think everyone thinks they're the right amount of everything.
I know.
You know, they're
That's
like
true.
I'm right, I'm reasonable about everything.
It's true.
That
Listen,
person's too far
if
that
you
way. that
find
person's too
yourself
far that
wanting
way.
to comment on an Instagram post,
Yeah.
and that's when you need to, in a negative way, remote. That's when you need to be like, hold up. Do I need a glass of water right now?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Do I need to take a breath?
That's the thing is like, I think we're all making money off the only cool people in our life, which is our parents, right? So
Yeah.
they were the cool ones
Totally.
with the real story
Yeah,
and
yeah,
the
yeah.
hardship and the grit. And we're kind of like optioning their screenplay
Yeah.
without giving any money
listen,
back.
it's
It
like-
is fascinating.
Yeah, we're turning
Yeah.
their life into a fucking Lifetime movie.
Lifetime
That's
movie.
total trash.
My mom
you know
beat
what I
me
mean?
and I'm going to make money off this and fuck her. She's a bitch and hates
Our
black
parents
people.
had none of the. Our parents would not give a fuck about these kinds of things that you know, are like becoming now in vogue to talk about in the culture of like, how dare they pumpkin hummus, not pumpkin hummus, but whatever,
No,
you know,
yeah.
that's a fair thing. And that's a fun thing to do. But like, you're not somebody out on Twitter trying to boycott a hummus company, right?
Yeah. I'm not like an ethnic incel.
Yeah,
where
exactly.
I'm like, okay, you know, I don't know. It's
They were for real. I mean, Hari Kondabolu's dad wasn't like, can you believe this Apple character?
I know.
yeah.
You
Well,
know?
I think it also is just like, it's such an easy thing to be like, I'm interesting. And it's not, it is interesting, your background, but it's like when it's the only thing you have all the time, it's like, it's fake then. You're using it for the wrong reasons. Yeah.
It's terrible. And like making fun of white people is like the kind of inverse of that. That's the other route that you
Yeah.
go.
Right.
And the thing is, like, I love making fun of white people.
Hell yeah.
Right?
Totally, yeah.
But now I only make fun of white people because they're the only people I can make fun of.
Yeah, that's a good point.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like they're the
yeah.
only people who they're the only people I'm allowed to make fun of, you know?
Yeah,
or Indians because I'm Indian.
Right.
You can do one Asian joke.
Maybe.
1%.
Maybe. Yeah.
I think actually I would go as far as I think you can do any brown. I think
any
you could do
brown
it.
probably.
I think people aren't smart enough to in the moment go,
Differentiate.
hold on, wait,
Okay.
you know?
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
think
but other browns are. You know what I
Other
mean?
browns
They're-
are.
Remember, they're the ones who are now acting like as the police for us, right?
Right.
That's my experience
Right.
a little bit.
So we'll come across some of that, you know, in our comment section. Sometimes a 21-year-old Trini
Yeah.
lady will be like, well, time to fucking go.
Yeah.
Time for you to
I
die.
love this
Fucking go,
podcast
yar.
till you had a Lebanese on.
Dude, listen
Fuck
to this.
guy.
It's totally that. We got canceled like about maybe
Yes.
last summer, maybe it was the summer before, because of like a dumb joke we did about Caribbean Indians. It was just a fun.
What did we
dumb
say?
joke.
It was dumb as hell.
That's such a deep
Super dumb.
niche. It's so funny.
Dude,
to see this
Exactly.
hilarious.
It's a micro niche.
What did we
Yeah,
say?
you got
We're
canceled
like-
by 10 people.
Exactly. It was like, oh, you know, Indians made the laziest slaves. It was
Right,
like- It was
right.
a hack. It was a hack
It
joke.
was not even a good
really,
one.
you
Yeah, it was
know?
like
Yeah.
It was fun.
Yeah.
You know, it was a good time. It's goofy.
the whole riff was so I could say Yaman or something. It was just to,
Exactly.
Yeah,
Like,
they didn't
around-
even know it was actually just so you could do a Jamaican.
It's
Oh,
accent.
basically
accent.
just so we could do our horrible accents. You know.
Which they're dumb enough to let you do the accent and not.
So-
they canceled you for the wrong
Listen,
thing.
here's what happens. Here's what happens. We
Yeah.
post the clip. It's kind of
You're
doing.
like, I am racist. It's just a different way.
Yeah, exactly. So the clip is doing kind of okay, right?
Yeah.
We're like, whatever. I remember I'm out on a date with this woman, and we actually ate mushrooms, and we were like vibing, and just like, I think we were having sex or something.
we go.
And then all of a sudden, I think Usama calls me. He's like, "Bro, you got to take down this clip."
Oh,
and I'm like, "What do you
no.
mean?" Then I go look at it. Bum, 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 bum. Nah, y'all are done. Nah, this ain't even funny. Blah, blah, blah. This one woman's going super hard, like really hard.
And you know how when they identify too much with their own race type thing we're talking about?
Sure, yeah.
The handles are like mango paratha.
Yeah,
Right,
exactly.
right.
And oxtail curry woman.
chick or whatever.
Yeah, they're slurred. They sound like slurs.
They sound
almost
like
slur-like.
slurs.
Yeah,
you
yeah.
know?
Coolie bitch.
It's actually just a
Yeah,
white.
exactly.
It's just a white guy, just like in drag or whatever. It's just this is how he gets off.
In
It
drag.
was all like Curry Monkey 862, that kind of thing,
Oh
right?
my god!
And,
they're taking it back. That's how they reclaim
Exactly. They're going 360 or 360. So we're getting all these things. I remember this one woman is going really hard on us. I'm like, fuck, you know? And then we post like an apology or something.
So we get a little freaked. Like, you know what?
That's always tough too. Is like, do you apologize?
We're not here for evil. We're here for joy, right?
Yeah.
So if this actually hurts you, I feel
it's
bad.
jokes,
He
you
feels
know?
bad. We want
Yeah.
to bring joy and
That's
lift
true.
up.
We're not here to hurt anybody's feelings.
the
That's
thing.
for sure.
Yeah.
That's
So
not
in
our
a
intention,
moment of
right?
pure pussy
Yeah.
energy, and I'm ashamed that we did this. Kind of.
me too.
I was in a different city, so we made this Zoom call.
Yeah.
20 minutes on a sorry. And if you see the sorry, dude, you'll be like, they didn't say sorry. They called these guys bitch.
It was actually kind of fun. The apology
like-
was kind of fun.
It was a Notes app screenshot.
Literally, we're like,
We
I
should
was
have.
like, I want to say sorry to all you loser assholes.
Yeah, exactly.
Fucking
It's
can't
all
take
you
a joke.
soft motherfuckers.
Yeah, we were like, we're sorry you're pussies.
Yeah.
And like that was basically the vibe.
Sorry, I
of
have
it.
no friends and no
Yeah.
sense of humor.
No, but it was sincere, right?
Yeah,
It was. There
yeah.
was like very sincere, like, hey, we want to bring people in, blah, blah, blah. All true. But
Even as you're saying, you're like, it was really genuine.
yeah, exactly. They're like,
Actually,
we're
genuine.
supportive of the community.
Yeah.
And I get a DM from somebody on the apology
This is crazy.
clip.
This is crazy.
And she's like, what are y'all talking about, lol? And it was the bitch who was going hardest in the comments. I was like, what are you talking about? You were like one of our primary aggressors. You were going. I was like, dude, what about you? She's like, oh, damn. I think I was probably stoned and hungry. And that was it. LOL. End of convo.
Insane.
End of
I'll
chat.
never forget that. how she could have ruined a career
Yeah.
because she was hungry. I mean, and just like, haha, love you guys.
Isn't that kind of how most of it goes, though? Most people get canceled because someone's just bored taking a shit.
They're bored
like,
and hungry.
Or hungry or alone or like whatever.
Exactly.
They're not in on the joke enough, so they're just like, this is dumb.
I know, exactly. Or
'Cause-
they're from like Bloomington, Indiana. My
Yeah,
theory about it is
totally.
that they're like the one brown person in Bloomington, Indiana, or they're a white person from, and they want to feel like they're part of like the coastal elite.
Yeah,
so
yeah,
they want to
yeah.
be like in the discourse. You know what I mean? It's like, how do you get into it? It's like cancel.
They never do any. They never make anything. They're never create. They're never creative at all. That their creative outlet is coming up with an argument
Yes.
to cancel someone.
Yeah.
Now, I don't want to go too far in this, too. Because
Yeah.
be like,
We're getting radicalized
Were
this
Louis
whole
C.K.'s
lot.
girls just dehydrated?
Yeah.
If they had some glasses of water, they could have enjoyed the scene.
Yeah.
So maybe not go that far, but like somewhere in the middle is the
Of
truth
course,
here.
I'm saying more just all reasonable. When it's a joke and it's clearly not malintent, it's like any rational person will be like, "Well, they're fucking kidding."
Yeah, exactly. We're the least serious fucking people.
Yeah,
One.
there's almonds next to you. There's a pack of almonds, and they're open. You don't. When the camera shifts,
guy
he's
can't
eating
hate.
almonds.
No guy on January 6th had this.
Yeah,
All right, that's
I mean
what
these are fake plants. Yeah, this is all.
Hey!
We're phonies. We're just-
Emil,
But in that
hey,
glass
come
is
on.
Mountain Dew, so just watch out. There's-
Yeah.
They can't even see all the stuff you're referencing now.
One time, I did this show for Bengalis, right? A bunch of Bengalis, younger skewing, right? Headlined this kind of younger Bengali show that was booked by this girl, kind of younger girl, and did all the jokes at this thing. Great. The final joke, I said the word molest in it.
Yeah,
Because they get about getting beat.
How can you not?
yeah.
you know,
You
whatever.
gotta go there. Yeah.
And I said it, right? And that was the only joke that kind of bombed with all these girls. They're like, how could you say that? They all went to the after party. I went to that party the next day, the same day, same night. And they were like all drunk and dancing. Like, we loved your set. But like, we just wanted to say that last thing when you said molest was like not okay. And it was all a joke. It wasn't like some sort of like incendiary thing. It was all in the context of the joke. That one of those girls, 5 minutes later, fully says the N-word. Fully.
Whoa.
Fully.
Of course.
Fully says the N-word. Because she's from New York and she's from Queens.
Oh,
and just
right,
goes, y'all
bro.
N-words be like this. And I was like, okay, that's how it is, huh?
The brown appropriation of blackness is
Yeah.
like a huge problem.
But everyone has that. Hispanics do it too.
They do.
Mexican
They do.
guy says the N word. You
Yeah,
go,
but you know-
I can't even.
But
I'm
you
not
know
going to
what?
say anything. I
If
can't
you're in
correct
Los
you.
Angeles or something, you at least grew up around black people. Like you
Yeah.
assimilated into the culture via black people.
Right.
You know what I mean? But if you're from fucking Arlington, Virginia or some shit,
Yeah.
and you're out there dropping the N word,
It's a different one, yeah.
That's a different vibe, you know?
Totally.
Dominicans do it here too. And
Yeah.
I don't even know if that's a black thing.
I think my favorite thing of every culture has a sect of men that are desperately trying to be black.
Yes.
It's
Yes.
it's all the barbers I go to. None of it. They're never black usually, but they're always
And
kind of a
sometimes
black guy.
It's a little surprising too. Like you'll go to Minnesota and they're like, "Watch out for the Hmong people." You're like, "What?" They're like Chinese dudes who are in a gang.
And
You're
they like street race. Yeah, their cars have nitrous, or and you go, okay, those are that's their
cars
guys.
have nitrous. That's so true. There's a bunch of suburban
Totally.
Asians
Oh my god.
who think they're black and in Fast and Furious at
Dude,
the same time.
I played basketball growing up in the suburb. I mean, it was mostly all white kids. Every single one of them fade past their ethnicity.
Oh, of course.
You know, like
Of course, dude.
And no one ever is like, "I'm a Vanilla Ice fan." No, it's black people.
totally.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Well, this reminds me of Mindy Kaling's brother. Do you remember this whole
Yes,
thing of
yes.
how he like tried to get into med school and he couldn't, so he like shaved his head and like I don't basically yeah
Yeah.
and basically then reapplied and then got in and he was like, look at this,
Whoa.
look at this. That's like yeah.
And then Mindy was like,
How is Mindy? Is Mindy Kaling liked in the brown community? What's your vibe?
I personally do like Mindy
like her.
Kaling.
I like
You
her.
know, I've been on group chats before where like brown comics are like fucking Mindy. I'm like, shut the fuck up. Like,
Yeah.
I don't like love her content, but it's not exactly for me. You know what I mean?
She doesn't owe us anything.
She hasn't been ousted
Right,
yet.
You know, but
Yeah.
There's a level of fame though where I feel like everyone gets then like they lost their roots,
Right. I know.
Because she will get rich enough to where she's just in Hollywood.
I mean, what I
you
like
know.
about it, she started off kind of like just doing. You know, she was on The Office, right? That was her.
Right.
That was their entree. She played a girl named Kelly, Indian still, but it wasn't like an overtly Indian character. And then she kind of was just doing her, right? Which is somebody who was raised in a particular way.
Yeah.
And so I don't know if she ever. I think it was only recently with her recent "Have I Ever" something like that.
Yeah.
Right? Where she started to like go hard into the Indian stuff or whatever. But
I don't think they owe us anything. I don't think people who make it owe their race
no,
anything.
No, they don't.
You know, it's like this weird thing of like, just make your own thing then, whatever, you know, like when Rami choked the chick in season 1.
Yeah.
You know, there was like uncles like, how dare you do this?
Yeah.
You know, I'm like, this is in the hadith, probably. One of the pages is like,
Yeah.
Muhammad then choked the bitch out.
He choked her so we could fly.
But it's like, what is this idea of like, I owe people? Like, I'll say Bengali sometimes in my act, and then I'll get a message like, you're Bangladeshi.
Yeah.
I'm like, this is a level. I'm sure you might get one at some point, like some Lebanese fuck.
Yeah.
You know, who comes at you for no reason.
Arabs are territorial like that, but that's a new level of like, I think like Indians and like.
And hold this, we'll have more racial debate after the break. Come to the Patreon, patreon.com/MangoBae. Keep the conversation going.
Full convo there.
Your mango bae.